Hey guys, this is Bamik and welcome to CyberSecurityTV. This week we are going to see how to upload a backdoor. In this video, we are going to see a couple examples with the different scenarios. So the first question is, why would you want to upload a backdoor? So generally, when you find an vulnerability such as SQL injection or any injection or cross-site scripting, every time you want to exploit or you want to get some data, you kind of have to exploit it, and then if application owner happens to fix the vulnerability, then you do not have any other way to get into the application, and that is why the backdoor is very important. When you upload the backdoor, you have a another way to get into the application and steal all the information that you want. Now for this scenario to work, we are going to use couple vulnerabilities and exploit it. So one of them is command injection. If you have not seen the previous video on the command injection basics, I would highly recommend to go back and see it. The next one is file upload. So we are also going to upload the file to the server, and that's what our backdoor is. And then we'll also assume that there is some misconfiguration on the application server. Now, without wasting much time, let's see a demo. So for our first demo, what I've done is I'm using Kali Linux virtual machine, and I have wrote a script in the PHP for command injection. It's similar to what we saw in the last example, where it takes the input from the user and lists all the directories. So for example, if we try here, location is equal to, let's say, temp directory, and what it does is it lists all the files you have in the temp directory. So it is and then we saw in last time how you can exploit the command injection vulnerability, so I'm not going to repeat in here, but what we really want is to upload a backdoor to the application server. So every time we want to exploit the application, we can easily just access our backdoor and then pretty much steal the information. Now for that, and for easier demonstration, that is why I chose the Kali Linux, because it has preloaded backdoor list. So for example, if you go to the user share web shells, you can see you have backdoors available on pretty much all the language. So since we are using the PHP, I'm just gonna go with the PHP, and this is our file that we are going to use. Now let's assume this is the attacker's machine where you have the backdoor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the Python server so we can access this particular file over the internet. Simple HTTP server. Okay, it's Python -m, then simple HTTP server. Okay, now we have the Python server running on port 8000. So what are we gonna do is uh, I'm going to use the wget command, and wget command is mostly theoretically it downloads the file from the remote server. So in our example, the remote server is attacker's machine, which is on IP 192.168.138.152. So 192.168.138.152 colon 8000, which is our port number, and then we want to type the name of the file which we want to upload. So in this case it's php backdoor.php. Now before we go there, I want to show you one thing. So if you go here, you could see we have two file command, PHP file, and then there is one folder. Now once we execute this operation, our backdoor file will be uploaded to this local host, on 127 where the application is running. So we did that. Now if we go back here, it says yes, this was 200. Okay, so that's perfect. And now if we refresh here, we have this backdoor file. Now what we simply want to do is we want to access this file. So I'm just gonna type here, and boom, now you have all the options for retrieving the application information to run the commands or anything. One thing we assume during this scenario is the application server folder is writable. Generally, that's not the case in the modern applications. But if you happen to find this scenario somewhere, this is the easiest way you can exploit. So now you can run any command, like any shell command. As you can see, we just write ls, and we have the list of directories. You can also upload the file. You can also connect to the MySQL database and everything. So this was our first scenario and the simplest scenario where you have the write access to the application folder. For our next scenario, and also one exercise I gave you in the previous video to kind of do the netcat and get the shell using the command injection vulnerability. If you were able to do it, awesome. If not, then I'm going to demonstrate you that how you can do it. And this is the useful scenario when you do not have write access to the application folder, and which is the case on most of the testing that I do. Application owner does not allow write access to the application to the folder. So this is the way you can still exploit and get the shell to the box. What we're gonna use is the Netcat because it is a really good utility and pretty much default utility installed on most of the Linux based operating system. So first let's do the netcat help. Here you can see we are going to use this one, which is you can provide the file name and it will execute after connect. And this is very dangerous, even they have specified it. So this is what we're gonna use to get the shell on the box. Other thing we're gonna see is the listener, because on the attacker's machine we will have the listen mode, will accept the inbound connection. Then we will also have to define the port number, which is using the port, and then we can also define the verbosity by like whatever it's up to your comfortable level. Like you can define, you cannot define, it's optional. So let's first start the netcat using listener mode. We'll use the 10,000 port and I'm gonna make it verbose. So now our netcat accept the connection on our attacker's machine, which is 192.168.138.152, and now we want to make the connection from the application, which is vulnerable. So this is so let's go with here. We know it takes the location and then temp. Okay, now same thing, we will do the semicolon to run our second command, and we will provide the file name, which is bin bash. Now we want to provide the IP address, which is 192.168.138.152, and the port number which we need to connect. Let's just verify everything is correct. Okay, I think so. Alright, so now as we have pressed the enter, you can see this is rotating, and the connection has been made to the attacker's system, which is here, and you can see we got the connection, and now we pretty much got the shell on the box, so you can run any command you want. So for example, ls, we got all the file information, and now you know how dangerous it is. Once you get the shell in the box, you can run any exploits, you can get all the information, you can also connect to the database and everything. So that is how you exploit the command injection when you do not have write access to the directory or the application folder. Now that is all I want to discuss in this video. I would highly recommend to practice at home, and also when you find command injection, this is the easier way to demonstrate what is the risk that could be posed by the attackers to your clients. Uh, Next week we will see some other attack in the application security. If you like this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel to get all the similar content and application security and other vulnerability exploitation videos. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.